Hi everyone, welcome to the first CAD Fusion 360 CAD tutorial that we have here. This will be like a multiple part series where we're going over different parts of Fusion 360. The first part going over just the basics, very basics. Towards the front part of the video, it's going to be the different components in Fusion 360, and then the part 2 of the video is going to be like how to make something such as a box. And then a part 2 that's coming soon of our video is going to be basically how to use Vex parts that we import from an outside source into Fusion 360, and then we're going to use that to make a Vex robotics base. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so at the top here you can see this is even your general dashboard that you can see in Fusion 360, and it's kind of similar across all CAD software they use, whether it's Onshape 360 or Inventor. They all pretty much have the same components, they just look a little different. So on the left side here you have basically the things you've made. As you can see, I have the Vex parts library, which is going to be useful in part 2 of the video. And then I have my data, and then I have people, which basically shows who owns this file. And if you want to create a new folder, you can do that. If you want to upload something from your computer, you can click upload. And then over here on the right side, basically it's this kind of like your drawing board, right? So you have different components such as sketch mode. And the nice thing about Fusion 360 is that it's going to show you exactly what it looks like. So right here I can see like what if I sketch it out, what does this tool really do? And you can kind of see that better if I go to the next one, which is extrusion. You can see how basically brings a sketch into life, right, by extruding it up or down. And you can see the resolve one here basically allows you to create circular formations. You get a hole, which is obviously self-explanatory, puts a hole into your shape. And then you have rectangular patterns, which is pretty useful when you wanted to make something similar across all scopes, such as like a table stand. As you can see in the picture, that's kind of what they're demonstrating there. Then you have a press and pull, a fillet. You mostly see this kind of in kid toys. Make sure there's no sharp edges, which can hurt kids. You have a shell, which basically puts a shell, kind of like basically making a box, right, to store stuff. It equally takes away the space from all corners of the shape that you make. There's the combine, there's a split. That's if you want to move stuff around, you can move your workspace around. Then you have new components, and then you have a joint, mostly used in assemblies, which we'll get into after. You have the construct plane, inspect, insert, and select. So let's get into making a box. And then another thing you can use, if you don't really know like where it's located, and let's say I don't know where to start for sketch, right? I can click the letter S on my keyboard. It's going to say design shortcuts, and I can say I want a sketch, and I can click create sketch, and it's going to go ahead and open up my plane there. Now, in every single CAD software you use, you're going to have chances to do multiple planes, and the different planes are the top plane, the front plane, the right plane. And all these are going to orient the shape that you want to make in different places. So for example, something I make in the top view is not going to be looking it's not going to look the same if I make something in the right view. For example, the top of the object might fit a little better in the top view versus the right side. And I'm going to kind of show that a little right now. So after I have this plane, so there's different axes. There's the x-axis, the y-axis, the z-axis, I believe. So you're going to select one axis. For now, for simplicity, I'm going to choose this top axis right here. And it's going to go ahead and already orient your page to fit that. Now, on the right side, you see a brand new component that popped up. Right, you have the line type, look at, sketch grid, snap, slice, show profile, show points, show dimension, show constraints, show projected geometries in 3D sketch. All these are useful options. You should preferably have the sketch grid open just so you can see, you get like how much you're making it. Snap and slice, I don't really use it that much. Show points is very important. Dimensions, you can turn that off if your device is running a little slower, it might speed things up. There's also constraints and projected geometries, which we'll get into after. So let's go ahead and, without further ado, let's go ahead and start making our box. So At the top here, we have different things once we're in the sketch mode. We have lines. You have your 2-point rectangle. You have a center diameter circle. You have a spline, which is basically a combination of parts. You have a mirror. That'll sketch dimensions. And you got a fillet, got a trim, an offset, and all these horizontal, vertical. These are all different features that you have. And then that concludes the first part of our video. The next part is we're gonna make a box. Guys, welcome to the first part of our video here. So in the previous part we covered all the different components that Fusion 360 has to offer, and now we're gonna be applying those skills that we learned into making a shape. And this shape is gonna be very simple, and you guys should be able to replicate it on your own. So the first thing we're gonna do is create a sketch. Now there's two ways. I can either go up here and select create sketch, or I can select click the letter S on our keyboards, and I can search sketch. Now you'll see there's this create sketch option, and basically both these do the same exact thing. Let's say for example I don't see the sketch button. I can click S and then just search SketchUp. Now over here I'm going to be selecting my different planes that I want to make my object in. Now you can see the different lines here, grid lines, which are really helpful in deciding which plane am I looking at. So different views that you have, which is exactly the same across all CAD software they're using. There's the top, front, right, and all of these are basically the same across all platforms that you can use. And there's different axes, the X, Y, and Z axes. So I'm going to go ahead and select this axis right here, because we're going to be making a box, and this one seems the one that makes the most sense. So I'm going to go in. There's two ways to actually do this. You can either use the line tool here. I can click a line, or once again I can use S and just search line, or I can just do 4 different lines that connect a square, or I can do a 2-point rectangle, and once again I can do rectangle, and there's right there. There's a 2-point, 3-point, and there's center rectangle. In our case, center rectangle is going to be it's going to be the best option, just so we know everything is going to be equal. So I'm going to go to our origin, and I'm going to select there. I know it's the origin because there's a blue box that appears around the center. Go ahead and select that, and I'm going to go ahead and build out from here. Now there's two ways. If you have an actual dimension, maybe from a drawing they're using, a technical drawing, you can go ahead and insert that dimension where it says, or I can just arbitrarily select any point here. To me, this point looks perfect, and I'm going to go ahead and choose that. Now from this point, if you'd like, you can add more sketches. You can modify it, constrain, add fillets, sketch fillets on there. But all this stuff the fillet stuff we're gonna do after we extrude our shape. I'm gonna go ahead and click finish sketch, and then I'm gonna go ahead and shift this to this view like here. And the reason I shifted it to this view is so I can see how much I'm extruding my shape a little bit better. I'm going to click extrude. Once again, if you cannot find extrude, you're going to search extrude here. There you go. There's 3 different types. Depends on what type you're going to use. I'm going to click the first one. And right here, this kind of is my plane. The amount of degree that I want to turn it. I'm going to keep it at 0. And there's 2 ways to do this. Once again, if you have a dimension, you're going to go and type that dimension in there. Or you can just drag. Dragging is the easiest for beginners. And this will be 10 millimeters, which is good for me. I'm going to click enter, select that, and there's the first part. Now, in order to make a box, we're going to go ahead and use the shell tool. I'm going to click the shell. We're going to click this, and on the right side here, you have the inside thickness. Once again, I'm just going to use this. That's good for me. Then you can change the thickness. In this case, it appears to be 5 millimeters of thickness, and even shows it right there. There's a tangent chain, and you can even choose multiple. Since we have one box, I only chose one. And there's different directions you can do inside, outside, or even both, depending on what your shape is like. So once I have all this, I'm gonna click OK, and there's basically my box. Now this box can be used to put whatever you want inside of it. And then to make this, and then we're gonna add some different stuff on it. We're gonna add a fillet. So on the fillet, you can put them pretty much anywhere you want. You can put it outside edges here. You can do that, or you can pretty much anywhere. And I'm gonna go and type in, let's do 0.005 fillets. I put very tiny fillet on. You can select a little bit of it. Let me just put one more on it. Let's do 0.5. There we go. And then you're also gonna put, and then you can put a lot more stuff on it. Let's say we can create a sketch on this face also. I'm gonna transfer our look into that area. I'm not sure why my fillet didn't work earlier, but we can go and revisit that after. And then virtually from this point, I can build off of what I have here. So let's say I wanted to make another box, make my box even taller, right? I can start at this point and create a new box. What I'm gonna do, or I can just create something in the middle here. We're gonna take this point right here. I can scale this all the way out here. Like that, just like that. Create the sketch. Move it to the back view. I'm gonna extrude that. And you're gonna select your face right there. And there you have your new box. You can shell that if you like. And you can do different shells. You can see as I'm moving this, you can make it smaller, bigger, like that, and looks like that. So basically right now you have basically a 2-part box like that. So that's basically all the skills, very the basics you're gonna need in order to build Vex stuff. In the next video, we're gonna basically be importing parts from outside Vex forums or websites, and we're gonna import them into CAD here, and you can even see a little bit of that at the Vex parts library folder here. And we're gonna go and import them into our workspace, and then we're gonna go use more of an assemblies there. But this will conclude our first video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.